Hey, good afternoon, everybody. You're here for another episode of Leave Jay Alone, where we discuss mortgage opportunities and the journey to home ownership. And then once you buy your house, actually, what is next? And I'm flattered today to be joined by Isabel Guzman with Remax River City, one of the leading realtors in the New Braunfels, San Antonio, San Marcos, that whole I-35 corridor. And we're just going to get inside the mind of Isabel today and talk a little bit about the market. Isabel, good afternoon, and thanks for joining us.
And good afternoon, Jay. Thanks for having me.
Love it. I love it. Hey, I saw on your website there that every morning you wake up just happy, ready to start your day, see what your family has in store for you. And sometimes that's a lot different than we expect. And then you're ready to get with your clients and go to work. How nice is that?
It is. It's nice. I love what I do, so it's part of me all day long. As often as I can, I try to kind of leave it at my desk, but I can be honest, and I really can't. I bring it to everything that I do, to bed, to lunch, to dinner. So it's always a part of me, which I love it.
Well, I think we've learned over the years that real estate doesn't sleep anyway. So, how true that is.
It is. It is.
Now, I know family's important to you, and I believe a couple of your kids have embarked on some new things this year. Is that right?
Yes, actually, today was a very, very new start to all of their lives. I have three children. One of them started college classes today. He's on campus at Texas State. So we're excited for him. And then my two little ones, I have a fourth grader and a freshman, started in-person learning today. And as you know, with this pandemic, that was a big decision for us as parents to allow them to go in person, but we decided that was the best thing for them, and we are hoping for the best and trust that they're going to be healthy and they're going to have an excellent school year. So it's a very exciting time.
It is for sure. And being married to a school teacher, I have some of those same feelings inside our household as she has
Right.
gone back. And actually, the Bernie school districts were the first in the nation to re engage with students in the classroom.
Is that right? When did they start?
They're going on their second week now.
Oh, wow. Well, wishing them the best.
Well, thank you. Reading some of your reviews on your website there from Zillow and many other places, it looks like you're highly respected, and your clients just love you every time you've worked with them. And I find that to be so refreshing because real estate is exciting and it moves so fast. And in fact, that's some of the things we're going to talk about today. And I'd just like to say, hey, what are your thoughts on this current real estate market?
Yeah, yes, thank you. I make it a personal goal to make sure I do get that five-star review each and every time, and I'm very passionate about my work, and I love working with people. So, I strive for that. So thank you. But yeah, so what is my the current market right now? I mean, Jay, I don't think I have to tell you, but it's on fire. I keep on describing it that way, and some of my videos and when people call me about whether it's a good time to buy or sell, and I just want to scream at them and say yes, 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 right? Because for sellers, it's a great time to buy, to sell, to put your house in the market because of the low inventory and because there are so many buyers out there. Supply and demand is definitely not balanced right now. We're running short on inventory, it seems like, and that can be for many reasons, which we can discuss. And on the buyer side, it's a great time to buy because oh my gosh, those interest rates just keep on shocking me. Really, I keep telling them how low they are, and then they get pre-qualified, and I get thrown back, to hear what interest rate they've received. So it's pretty crazy out there. It's a good time for real estate.
Absolutely. And I hear some of those same comments from people who think they're going to wait a little bit and they think the market's going to improve. And, I just don't know how much better it can get other than, new inventory. But
Yeah,
I get a chuckle out of that. Well,
yeah.
what's really different now than prior to COVID and the pandemic? What is excited real estate like this?
Well, I think honestly, in my opinion, my humble opinion, I'd have to say it is supply and demand. Kind of from my perspective, when we partially closed back in the second part of March and April, there was no activity happening. Nobody was, well, I wouldn't say nobody, but hardly anybody was selling, and um, hardly anybody was entering the market to buy. So it kind of froze in place almost. But as soon as early summer came and things opened back up, we got the green light that it was okay to safely continue showing and selling. It almost seems like the floodgates opened, right? I mean, so many buyers, all those buyers that would have otherwise bought during late spring, which is a very busy time in real estate, came out early summer, right? But I think what happened is that we haven't done a good job to let potential sellers know that it's a good time to sell. So I think a lot of sellers that would have sold, put their house on the market in spring and in the summer have held back because of pandemic concerns, which of course is understandable. But I believe that they feel that it's not a good time to sell. And that could not be further from the truth, to be honest, because right now houses are selling like hot tamales for real. Can you hear me, Jay?
So, yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay,
Great. I think we have some activity going on here on the phone, so I'm sorry about that. But you know,
that's okay.
you talked a little bit about it's on fire, but really, what does the speed of this market really feel like or look like to somebody shopping, to you helping them, or maybe a seller thinking about selling?
Yeah, well, I can that's why on fire is the term that comes to me, because to me on fire means it's hot, right? Things are moving quickly. Their speed. That's what I think of. I think of speed, and I'll give you a quick example. I have a few buyers right now that are waiting for the right home to come, right? And usually that doesn't they're pre-qualified, and usually we'll just wait around for a couple of weeks and wait for the right home to come on the market. We go view it, and then go through the process of putting an offer on the house. But in particular today, for example, I have a buyer who's looking for a home, and I was reviewing the new homes for sale this morning, and I saw two of them, and I said, okay, I'm going to send in those two. Those might be good. But I went ahead and took another 10 minutes to finish looking through all of the inventory. And then the one of the homes that I was going to send him came out today, this morning, or maybe yesterday, Sunday. And when I went back 10 minutes later to email it to him, it was already under option. It was already under contract. So, of course, it's not the case with all of them, but honestly, this is the kind of speed that we're seeing. If you're in the market to buy, you really have to be serious and be ready to execute, and unfortunately that means that if you're not, you might miss out on that ideal home. But I mean, but it's a fun time, and they have me to help guide them and everything, but things are just moving really, really quickly.
Yes, I can concur with that from the mortgage standpoint. We talked about existing inventory and really the lack of. So, what does that shape into? Is that like 2 months worth of houses or 4 months? What would you consider?
Oh my
Uh,
goodness, I don't know what the latest number is, and but I want to say that 5 months, gosh, I don't have this number in front of me, but 5 months is considered low inventory. And if I had to guess where we were right now, I'm probably pushing 2 months of inventory. But I don't have that number for you right now. But yeah, I would say that it's pretty low. And one of the things that I do is I tend to work with people who are in the 200 range. So that is a little bit even more difficult to purchase in Central Texas or in our area here, because we're such a popular market. So prices tend to be on the higher end, and so because I focus on the buyers in the 200s, that inventory I feel like it's even less. So, but yeah, it's pretty scarce out there right now. It really is.
are the builders able to keep up? Are they adding inventory on the new home side?
My experience with the builders is the same as what I described earlier about the floodgates opening after the pandemic. I mean, they a lot during the shutdown, a lot of them, weren't showing their houses. They were, I know one of them was even one popular national one was completely shut down. But as soon as everything opened, I mean, they started selling like crazy. And a couple of the popular uh, um, builders that I work with right now in my community, they're completely sold out. And I'm literally waiting for them to release just dirt, just to release the ability to put a contract on a piece of dirt, and that's never happened in my 4 years of experience, where I have to wait around for them to decide they're going to open a new development. And of course, that's all because everybody's behind. They need the permits, and then they need the development to be approved. So yeah, I would say that it's definitely being affected for new construction homes as well. So I mean, I think this is very rare. I have 2 or 3 contracts already for 2021, and that's because there's nothing on the ground. They're building, so we have to wait for them to get their home.
Already filling that pipeline. Great job. Well, we have so many people moving to Texas. Everybody wants a piece of Texas, and
Yeah, why wouldn't they? It's
yeah,
awesome.
it is great. It is great. Now, with this type of demand and uh, future demand, people already contracting for homes next year, what are we seeing in the values or the appraisal prices? What's happening with the value of a home?
Yeah, well, I think what the good thing is that the appraisals are doing a good job, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, in keeping up, right? So those of us that have a little bit more experience in the market, when we're selling a home, we know we can push the market sometime because there's a home is worth what a buyer and a seller is willing, what a buyer is willing to pay for it, and what a seller is willing to sell it for, right? So there's no fixed price. But when we have a market like this, we're able to push the sale price a little bit higher to kind of, I guess, increase the market value. And those of us have had this experience of being an agent for a few years. We know we can push the home sale price a little bit higher, but at the same time, we know that appraisals won't come in, you know, way over market. So I would say that it's good in that we're able to prices are increasing, but at the same time they're not going crazy. They're being controlled. But so appraisals are meeting us, I guess, at that reality, right? Which is that these homes are definitely more marketable. They're more desirable. So I'm liking what I'm seeing in appraisal because they're meeting us where we are. Does that make
Well,
sense?
it does. It does.
Okay.
And I think the message I hear from you is that prices aren't coming down, and
No, they're
there's a
not.
real cost to waiting because of the demand issue. And while we're not seeing huge increases, they are going up. So the cost of entry is going to be more expensive.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what solidifies that growth is that we know, and I know, I have a lot of relationship with builders because a lot of people want to shop both. They'll say they want a resale home, and I'll show them, but at the same time, I feel like almost all of my buyers also want to shop with new home construction, which makes sense, right? They want to compare. But anyway, so I have a lot of communication with builders, and I can tell you that builders have continuously been increasing their home prices month after month after month. And I really don't think, based on what I've spoken with them, that that's going to stop happening. So we know that builders are going to continue increasing their prices, which means that the resale homes will as well. The growth in our community is just so amazing. I mean, so much industry coming, so much growth, such great community living in this area. You just can't go wrong. That's what I tell all my buyers. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong buying a house in this area. Really, you can. Not for the foreseeable future. Excuse me.
That is fabulous. That's good news. And, this type of speed and pressure on the industry is an unattended effect, but it's wonderful. And Isabel,
Yeah.
if people want to study the market, get their strategy together, how do they reach you?
Well, they can reach me in all of the traditional ways. They can give me a call, which is I'm always available. My cell is 830-832-5589. I'm all over social media. Social media is a popular way as well. And you can kind of Google Isabel Guzman Realtor. I also do a lot of hashtags Isabel my Realtor. So if you want to find me that way, you will. And then I have a website with isabelmyrealtor.com. And I can also be emailed at isabelguzman@remax.net.
Wow. No reason you can't connect with Isabel out there.
Absolutely,
Well,
absolutely.
do you have any just good tips, quick tips, solid tips for either a buyer or seller? We have plenty of investors in the market, or maybe just some of your stewards in the industry, other realtors.
Oh gosh, well, I think that my primary focus is my buyers and my sellers, and to my buyers, I would say get excited because your money is going further right now with these crazy low interest rate. Your purchasing power is just that much stronger, and it feels really good to know that. I'm really happy to see how much my buyers are empowered by those low interest rates. So I'm really excited for them on that end. And then the same thing for my sellers. Get excited to make that next move because it's never been more comfortable to know that if you put your house up in the market and you work with an agent like myself that's going to guide you correctly with pricing it at the best price possible, I mean, you're going to sell. You're going to sell, and it's going to be a smooth transaction because, again, you have good guidance, but because the flock is out there just waiting for that sign to come up. They come visit your home.
Well, there you have it. There you have it. Well, today we were able to get inside the mind of a realtor. And, I hear people from time to time that think they shouldn't use representation, but I think you've solidified exactly why we would want to come to you. You understand the current market conditions. You've explained that very well, the headlines, and you've helped us decipher what that means. You've told us about the pricing and what we expect to see in the future. And there's no doubt your experience is shining through here that would go right into the art of negotiations. And with as many deals as you've done, and I've read the reviews, you must have a fierce attitude when it comes to negotiations. And you couldn't do any of that if you weren't very skilled with the paperwork that helps us navigate all the disclosures and all the environmental regulations in our industry. So I think you've laid that out really well. So everybody, you just need to reach out to Isabel Guzman. She's shared her phone numbers and her emails and her Facebooks, and I do love her posts. And maybe we could just end on this, Isabel, and you could share with us just one thing we could do better in this audience to help you facilitate real estate transactions.
What do you mean exactly? The audience that
That we're appealing to today. We're going to have other realtors. We've got plenty of home shoppers, buyers out there, being pre approved so they can come to you
mm,
with confidence to shop. That could be one of the tips.
yeah,
Don't cheat
absolutely.
yourself out of a home inspection. Paint covers a lot of problems. So, just in your experience, maybe one or two tips you could leave us with.
Well, I would say a home inspection, and that would actually be the case for both buyers and sellers. Obviously for buyers, you need a home inspection to make sure you know what you're buying, what's behind those walls, what's happening in that house, what are you taking on. But I also highly recommend my sellers to get a pre-listing home inspection because same thing, you want to know what you're selling, and you can avoid so many headaches and so many problems, and you can save yourself a lot of money in the long run by having your pre-listing home inspection because you'll take care of all those major problems that might spook a buyer. Buyers are not fully aware of what it may take to fix one little problem. And just if you hear water damage or if you hear, those key words, potential mold, and people get spooked. So I really think that a home inspection is definitely worth every dollar from both ends.
I love that thought. And what a great way to wrap this up. So, thank you, Isabel, for sharing the insights with us in your market and our market together. Everybody, again, that is isabelmyrealtor.com, hashtag
That's right.
Isabel My Realtor, and Facebook Isabel My Realtor. And you can
That's
always
right.
reach her 830-832-5589.
Yeah. And
Great.
then I'll send them over to you, Jay, so we can get them pre-qualified and get them in their happy home.
All right. Sounds great. Well, hey, go have a
All right.
fascinating afternoon, a great week. And as we head into Labor Day, just enjoy some time to recharge. Thank you, Isabel.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Jay.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.